What's up, oddballs? Welcome into the Oddity Shop, the podcast where the bizarre is always on sale, and we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the world.
Yeah, I'm your curator, Kara, and this is my wonderful best friend, curator, Zachary, that has little tacos on his shirt, and it's so cute.
Well, I had to wear something food themed today because it is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, Woo! Kara.
What are you thankful for?
I am grateful for 2 years of this lovely project with you. Oh. I am grateful for all the people who have listened and been here along the way. And I'm super grateful for some things that you and I have in the... Grateful.
Isn't it supposed to be thankful?
Thankful, grateful.
Thanksgiving.
Whatever. It's a great giving. I am thankful for, if you wouldn't interrupt me, some things that we have in the works that are very, very exciting that we can't divulge too much on yet, but it's going to be a big year.
You stole all my thankfulness, and now we're like the social media-ers that are like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the collab that's coming.
I know.
But you're going to love it. Ew, but you're going to love it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we're thankful for you guys. Honestly, that's my most. I think that if we're going to be on a real deeper note, as much as this podcast at times kind of stresses us out because it's, it can be stressful. There's a lot to go into it, and we didn't really realize. That's okay. we love it, and it's been an outlet, a creative outlet, a like stress-free outlet for us at times. It's been really good for our mental health.
Yeah.
It's been bad for our mental health, but it's been more good for our mental health.
It is. It's honestly, it's been a lot more work than either you or me ever anticipated, but it has been so damn worth it. So
it's been fun. It's brought us closer. It's made us be better communicators to each other, to just like life. Like it's impacted us in so many different ways. And I am very proud of us. So I'm very thankful for you guys for being here.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without all your support. And as more like listener write-ins and call-ins are coming through and you guys are listening to us, like, it just makes our hearts so happy.
It's amazing.
All right. Are we done being mushy now?
Yeah, what do you have? Anything fun?
I never told you about the Front Bottoms concert. Dude, it was...
The Funky Pants?
The Funky Pants, yeah. That's what our Uber driver... She's like, you guys going to that Funky Pants show? We're like, yeah, close enough. They play a different set list every night on this tour, and they literally started with cool. Like my top 5 songs. And they sound exactly the same live, but somehow the lead singer is like actually more attractive in person than on camera. Oh, it was everything I ever dreamed for.
Listen, that's how I am too. I'm more attractive in person than on camera. Just so you all know.
Kara's self-conscious today. Okay, so make sure you're going to say at the top of the episode that you look pretty.
This is 2 weeks in a row that I've come with no makeup on. And you know what? I don't care. It's not like I haven't done this before.
All right.
Well, I have something.
Uh-oh.
It's been 2 years now, and I feel like we've put ourselves out here and we've gotten a little bit more relaxed. And now our recordings become more of just our actual phone calls. And so we forget the things that we say. I will never regret anything that I say on here. I can't say right now. I don't think I'll regret anything. But, we just become more lax on the things that we say. And so one of my coworkers, managers, like bosses, he's a kind of a bigger wig, he started listening. And I was off the other day, but he was very adamant that he wanted to call me because he wanted to ask me how my watery butthole was.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I've had a few run-ins like that.
Ronaldo, if you're still here listening to me, my watery butthole is great. Thanks.
All right. Yet another episode where we somehow talk about watery buttholes.
I hope that maybe we could put it in every, not put it in.
Oh my God.
Add it in every episode.
Okay, with that, are you ready to open the shop? Because I cannot listen to you ramble about this anymore.
Do you have a question?
I do. Okay. What is your family's weird Thanksgiving tradition? Because I know everybody has one. Do you have any weird?
Not anymore. But when me and Kyle were younger, we would every Thanksgiving we would like after Thanksgiving we would make a fort out of like the dining room table because it would have like the leaf in it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would feel big. So then we would make a fort out of it and then we would sleep under it.
Oh, that's kind of fun, actually. See, I feel like every family does something like a little bit peculiar. Mine was always
yours.
It was always like the responsibility of some aunt or uncle who wasn't hosting Thanksgiving to bring the butter lamb. You know, like around holidays, they like, it's a very religious thing. It's like the Lamb of God, but they make a stick of butter shaped like a little lamb.
Fuck. Okay.
And if the butter lamb was not at Thanksgiving, somebody was taking it.
I didn't know that was religious.
I always assumed it was on the Catholic side of the family. I think it was religiously based, but
I guess it would, because why else would it be shaped as a lamb? Why would it be a turkey?
Believe me, it was very clear whose responsibility it was, and they were reminded many times that the butter lamb better be there.
I'm gonna get you a fucking butter lamb.
Now, my other aunt, though, she had this other tradition that was waxing her floors before she hosted Thanksgiving.
So everybody slipped and fell?
I remember this one time I went down so hard with the whole plate. As I fell, I kept that plate straight up the whole way down. I think I dropped like one thing on the floor.
Listen, I would take bets on who fell first.
Oh, I'm sure they probably were.
Wore fuzzy socks over.
Oh, it didn't. Whatever socks you were wearing, you were. I know,
but I feel like fuzzy, like those. You know what I'm talking about? Those fuzzy ones really kill you.
All right,
cute.
So, are you ready to get into it with this Thanksgiving Day? I have. It's sort of a Thanksgiving story, and I mean that because it deals with like early American settlers.
Yep, I can feel the vibes,
but it's not too horrifying. But it's got mystery and speculation and oddness. So,
does it have snow?
No snow. No snow at all. We're going to start with the history, and then there's an event that happens, and we're going to go from like the most reasonable theories that I could find to the most absolutely out there. Okay. So we're covering the Lost Colony of Roanoke.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. This is on my list, so I'm glad you're doing it.
I've been really good at taking ones off your list lately.
And I like the ones that you take off because they're like ones that I'm like, I don't want to.
Like you'd rather hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, are you ready to hear it?
I'm ready.
All right, let's throw open that Wayback Machine because we are going to 1580. And it starts with none other than Sir Walter Raleigh.
Okay.
Who was obviously knighted with the title of Sir. Most people, I feel like, know him from poetry. He was a really like renowned poet, explorer, scholar, and he kind of like gets high up in politics and aristocracy during Elizabeth I's reign. And for some reason,
tell me what year this is again.
1580.
1580. Okay.
Okay. So for some reason, like Elizabeth just loves Sir Walter Raleigh. Raleigh, I don't know exactly how to say it. And like it was platonic, but they were like
Walter.
Yeah, she just thought he was like attractive and suave. He was like, this is the queen, I'm gonna kiss her ass.
Oh.
So as much as they got along in loving each other, and he was very much in love with his country, he had a lot of hate for the Spanish people. And the Spaniards were colonizing this newly found continent of North America. Sir Walter Raleigh gets a little bit of an idea, and he thinks that the British should do what they do very best, and that's travel to faraway land and claim it all for the crown. So, yeah. He also hears that there's some good trading, there's mining, and he could also make life hell for the Spaniards who are already over there. So he's like, this is it. This is my new adventure. I'm going.
Okay. He should have stayed home.
Well, Queen Elizabeth was like, no, you're my buddy. I'm here for the idea. I love it. It's great. I don't want you going overseas. So she allows him to organize the expeditions to set up the first English colony, but he doesn't actually go. This is 1584. He now gets the title of Knight, Lord, and Governor of Virginia.
Lord have mercy.
You know, the colony of Virginia. Because basically the queen was like,
Lord
hey, this is...
Knight?
Yes. Knight, Lord.
Knight, Lord. Ew.
But she's like, basically like, yeah, this territory is ours, whatever. 1584, he gets the title and the permission. 1585, 7 ships arrive carrying around 600 colonists. And they land on an island in what's like present day Dare County, North Carolina. Island's called Roanoke Island. And the leader who was actually there of the expedition was Ralph Lane. So Roanoke Island's colony is called Lane Colony. Really, really surprising.
Hawaiian colony.
But they run into issues pretty much immediately. So one of those 7 ships hits a shoal and sinks, and that is the ship with all of their food. They had trouble with the local Native American tribes. So things were like just not looking super well for them. So it's with that Lane makes the decision to leave about 120 of the 600 people there and only the men.
Okay.
And their job was to build up the colony and prepare for more folks to come in the future, right? Like, hey, we don't have enough supplies for everybody. We're going to take most of the people back. You guys get settled here and we'll come back with more people. Sounds like a big fuck you to those guys. But
we
whatever.
Left 120?
Yes.
Okay.
So through 1586, food remains scarce. And they're just not having like a wonderful go of it. On top of this, they're not finding the gold or silver they were promised for the mining. And Raleigh keeps sending them on missions that's basically just go annoy the Spanish. Like, they're not getting done anything that they were promised, but they're just like carrying out his agenda of annoying Spaniards. Okay. So they're feeling a little bit depleted. The morale is low. And again, most of the colonists are evacuated. So now it's like they're running with like a skeleton crew. Okay.
Ugh.
So 1587, this is 2 years now, basically 3 years since the start of it. John White launches an expedition. He brings back 115 settlers. Okay. And this is when they start calling it Roanoke Colony. Okay. There was only a skeleton crew left. Now they have that 115. And White is going to go back to England to get more supplies and come back with just a ton of supplies. But he hits a little bit of a snag in 87.
Oh, God.
Because you see, while the Spanish and the English are pestering each other over on North America, they're an all-out Anglo-Spaniard, or what is it, the Anglo-Spanish War back in Europe.
Oh, shit.
So White leaves. He's like, hey, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just going to go get supplies. He's not able to come back because they start using his ship for war. Like, he's just like, he returns home. They're like, no, we need you here, man. Take your ship. Like, you're going to war.
Dang.
3 long years go by. It is now 1590. So this is only 5 years after the first colony was created. 3 years since it was reestablished by John White. He finally returns with the relief expedition of supplies and bodies, and they land on a nearby island, and they're like, all right, we're going to go find these guys in Roanoke. The problem is they can't find them.
Oh,
they find fresh tracks. They find a tree not too far that has the letters CRO carved into it. And as they get closer to where the colony was, they now see a palisade, which is a type of like wall fort sort of deal. And on one of the like posts of the palisade is CROATOAN carved into it. But there is no sign of violence. There's no sign of the settlers, nothing. Like, their fate is just totally a mystery. So this is probably the oldest unsolved mystery in like the modern America history. And there's been archaeological digs, research. There's just no conclusive answer to what happened. One of the weird things, though, is like this newer wall fort thing is put up, but all the houses are gone. So it's not just like they're gone. Like, the houses are pulled down and gone. The cannons are gone. The boats are gone. Yeah, but their maps are left behind and torn apart.
Which is so weird. None
of it adds up. There's not a body, a bone, or any evidence. It's like they just vanished. How does that happen? In 3 years, they just, I don't know.
And there was fresh tracks.
I think the big thing is, too, is like the first 2 years, like they had shit time, but they stuck it out.
Yeah.
They just kept doing it. So I don't know, man. Nobody knows what happened. So I did some digging, some sleuthing. And while it is still, I'm going to just let everyone know now before we say it at the end of an episode again, nobody knows what the fuck happened. We are going all down some rabbit holes from here. So, like I said at the top, we're going to start with like the most basic theories into some of the wild stuff that's out there.
Okay.
So theory number 1 is, I'm calling this CROATOAN Island. This is from the Britannica Encyclopedia, and they have this to say about CROATOAN Island theory. On the basis of the mysterious tree carving, the nearby CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island, is the location to which many believe the colonists moved. At the time of the colony's founding, the Hatteras Indians occupied the island, and a popular theory supposes that the colonists joined the group of Native Americans to overcome their lack of resources and knowledge of the land.
Okay. Pretty
sound theory. So they're like, hey, we're going to CROATOAN Island. We're going to write CROATOAN on the sign. I don't know why they only put CRO on the tree, but whatever. Britannica goes on to say, a supposed piece of evidence for this claim is the existence of carvings and stones that were purportedly made by Eleanor Dare, the daughter of John White. And these stones, often called the Dare Stones, contain written stories that tell the fates of the colonists and personal anecdotes from Dare to her father. Though they're largely believed to be a hoax and forgery, there's some academic beliefs that only one of the stones is actually authentic.
But isn't that the most common belief, is that it was just like they put it on the tree, like, this is a note, this is where we're at, come get us?
Yes.
How far is the island from where they're
not very far.
So I guess, did anyone go to that fucking island, though, to see if they were there? Clearly not.
Yes, but not right away. So John White that's where him and his daughter found the stones along the way. They were supposed to go. There was a terrible storm, and then they got called back to England. So they did go later, and they did note that there was some interesting hair colors and eye colors of the native people. And then, too, what I've got next here is since 1998, the CROATOAN Project has researched and provided archaeological evidence to back up the theory that they moved with, or at least interacted with, the Hatteras tribes. But the artifacts and objects show that the CROATOANs had things that only the English settlers would have had. So there was a connection, but it's not enough evidence to say, like, hey, they lived here. They didn't just trade these items.
Got you. Okay.
Because once again, there was never any body evidence found.
Right. Okay.
So I think this one's probably the most widely accepted.
Mm-hmm.
But with the stones being proved to be inauthentic and the lack of, I didn't really put it in here because some articles said one way, some said another, but like that current day DNA testing has showed that like people who shouldn't have Anglo-Saxon do have a little bit when they're more native, but like it's hard to prove that one way or another because natives and settlers have been screwing for a long time. You know what I mean? So theory number 2, we're going to call this moving in with the natives ?
Oh, God.
So another theory is that they did, like the first, get involved with the native tribes, but in just like a slightly different way, because they might not have formed an alliance. A lot of people thought that the colony went looking for shelter, maybe with the CROATOANs, and after writing that.
Okay.
There were some Spanish who noted that there were Europeans traveling around the same time, which gives some evidence that they were on the move.
Okay.
But an article had this to say. This is from historycollection.com, which is where a lot of our next theories come from. While the prevailing theory is that the people of Roanoke merged with local Indian populations, it is just as popular that it wasn't that happy an ending. Considering that the people were never heard from again, it is just as likely that they encountered hostile Native American tribes and that they were likely taken as slaves.
Yeah.
So William Strachey, he is the secretary of Jamestown, Virginia in 1612, 30 years or so after. He does a lot of digging into Roanoke to try to figure out what happened. And he did get some testimony from people who saw Europeans, 2 boys and 1 young girl, living with the Eno tribe as slaves, and that they were forced to beat copper, which, hey, the Roanoke people finally got their mining. And I think this one gives a little more credence to the fact of why, like, they never came back to Roanoke. We're like, hey, you're back now. Like, we joined up with these guys. Come eat with us. No, they were, taken.
Yeah. That makes sense-ish.
I like it. We're at so far. So those are going to be our 2 most grounded theories.
I don't like any of it.
Okay.
Because why were there fresh tracks, but then they're like, everything's just missing? Like,
it's one of those things of like, were they really close to them leaving?
No.
And why didn't they search more right away? It's like, I know they said like there was a storm, they were called back, but
they're idiots. But also, if they were taken, let's just say that they were taken, things would be like ransacked and stuff. Like, I just don't feel like it would be like, oh my God, they just like up and literally like disappeared. Like, things are, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be chaos. I feel like it wouldn't be
like we took the houses like down carefully.
Like an organized move out. It would be pure chaos. I don't.
Unless it was ransacked.
But ransack to me is like chaos.
Well, if you took them all as slaves and the English say it happened early, it didn't come back for 3 years. Maybe they were taking the houses down one by one and moving them. You know what I mean? Taking the boats, taking the cannons.
No, why was there fresh tracks?
I mean, that could have been anyone, any tribe at any point. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. There's so much that you don't know.
This is giving, what's that one that you did?
Yeah, the pass.
Thank you. That I can never say it. It's giving that in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And it's going to keep giving that because the theories get weirder from here. Theory number 3, I'm calling this one Kills to Stop the Prophecy.
How many theories do we have?
6 or 7. I can't remember.
Oh, God. We're on what?
3. Okay.
Killed for what?
To stop the prophecy, Kara.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
All right. So I like this one.
Oh, God.
Strakey again.
Is this the one that you'd pick?
No.
Okay.
But Strakey again is looking. This is the guy from Jamestown, the secretary, doing all the research, right, to figure out what happened to the Lost Colony. He kind of partners up with John Smith, Captain John Smith.
Like from Pocahontas?
Yes. Both hear stories separately from the same chief, Powhatan.
Okay.
Chief tells Smith and later Strakey that he killed the people of the colony in retaliation for them living with another tribe that refused to ally with him. Ally with him.
Ally with them.
So we tie it back to theory number 1 that they did go live with like maybe the CROATOANs. So to back up this claim, the chief shows John some items that he supposedly took from the settlers, including a musket, and a brass pestle and mortar. But that could have come from any English people. Like there was nothing identifying of it being from the Roanoke Colony.
Yeah.
Historycollection.com had this quote. So Powhatan claimed that he ordered the killings because there was a prophecy that he would be conquered and overthrown by people from another area. Contemporary historians and anthropologists dispute the story, though, because, once again, there's never any bodies or archaeological evidence found to support the claim, but it's a rumor that's persisted for more than 400 years, so we have to talk about it. Now, remember that time when we left the 15 people skeleton crew and then we brought more people back? Yeah, those people also disappeared. So there is a researcher named Brandon Fulham who's kind of re-examined this theory a lot. And he says if there is any truth to the Powhatan massacre, that it was likely those 15 people from before the second expedition. So everything's still unsolved.
Okay. What I cannot get out of my head right now is, in the movie Pocahontas, is the pug's name Percy?
I haven't watched that since I was like 5 years old. I have no idea.
I gotta look it up because I can't
go for it.
My head. Okay, you can continue on.
Okay, so we're on theory 4 now, and this one's some of them have like some sub theories because they could go either way. We're gonna call this cannibals ?
I love me a cannibal. Also, I was correct. It is Percy.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. He's so cute.
Okay.
It's very demure.
Very mindful.
Cannibals.
Yeah, so cannibals. This one, there's not a whole lot of evidence, but it's on the wild side, so damn it, it's making the list. So there's 2 sub-theories here. Okay. Either that the Roanoke Colony was picked off and eaten by a cannibal tribe.
Okay.
Or that the Roanoke Colony became cannibals themselves.
Okay, where are all the bones?
Yeah, well, hold please.
Okay.
If they were eaten by natives, we know for sure there were other tribes around that were hostile tribes.
Okay.
Like you said, there were no bodies found. A lot of times the people who were overtaken by some of the hostile tribes, one of the beliefs were that using a pestle and mortar to grind the bones into a dust, you could use the bone for healing remedies. One way we can describe there not being bodies.
Yeah, or I was just thinking, don't some tribes use bones as like armor?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that was usually more animal, but I could be totally wrong.
You're right. But I'm just thinking, if you're a cannibal tribe, you might just take what you got. You know?
Might. I mean, the Aztecs sure did.
What's the thing that I'm thinking of? Grind the bones to make the bread?
Ever wanted to spend the night ghost hunting in a haunted asylum? Eloise Asylum presents Paranormal Lockdown. On April 5th from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you can run the asylum. Discover history, haunts, and the secrets of the past, led by Metro Detroit's premier investigators. There's a limited number of tickets to this exclusive event, and it will sell out. So get your tickets today. Use the promo code HUNT and save $5 off each ticket. Paranormal Lockdown, April 5th at Eloise Asylum. Visit EloiseAsylum.com.
It's the trolls, isn't it? Like the story of the three trolls who...
I don't know. I was thinking fee, fi, fo, fum, but that's not it.
That's giants. Okay.
Yeah. They might grind her bones.
So the fact that no bodies were found, though, like, it sounds like a time-consuming endeavor.
Suspicious.
But White was gone for 3 years, so, you know, they had some time. But there, like I said, there's no definitive evidence that they could find that any of these local hostile tribes were actually cannibals. So probably not the case here. Now, if we go to 1609 and go back to not Jamestown. Jamestown's where Strakey's from. Jonestown, okay. Virginia, which is funny that it's called Jonestown. But this colony did resort to cannibalism to stay alive.
Okay, you got to do what you got to do.
Right, so it's possible that the Roanoke people did that as well. We knew they always had food issues, and so they could have been hungry enough to see cannibalism as a viable option. We can't count that out. When they were really researching to try to figure out what happened, some of those local tribes were saying that there were plenty of internal conflicts within the Roanoke colony themselves.
Okay.
So that people could have, you know, gotten pissed, resorted to cannibalism, and kind of just picked each other off.
Here's my question.
One that our Colorado man, Alfred, would have loved.
Oh, yeah. Here's my question, which I probably asked in that. Could you eat me?
I mean, I don't think I'd be able to prepare you.
That's not the question.
I know. But that's how I'm choosing to answer. If I was very, very hungry and, like, say we were like...
No. You know why?
What were the people, the plane crash, the rugby team?
What was the boat guy on the boat where he ate his friend? No, he couldn't eat his friend, so he pushed him off.
Yeah.
The boat. Here's the thing. I wouldn't eat you because you'd probably be disgusting. But I couldn't eat you because then
Rude.
If I'm eating
I bet I taste great.
You lost the fat, so.
I still got some, and it's better muscle now. Listen, it's better eating than it's ever been.
That probably because I don't like fat. And my steak, like, I don't like fat. So if you're going to be like a steak, here's why I wouldn't eat you. Because presumably I'm eating you to survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I survived after eating you, I would just want to kill myself, knowing that I ate you.
Ooh, plus we both have tattoos, so according to Dahmer, we wouldn't taste good anyway.
Well, I have like one arm. You could have the other one.
Okay, perfect.
And the legs.
All right, on to the next theory. I think this is going to be one of your favorites.
We've thought way too much about cannibalism.
Yes, we have. So let's move on.
This is going to be my favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Aliens?
Not yet. Witches! So, listen, it's early American history. We're on the East Coast, so there's no way we were getting through this list without mentioning the possibility of witches causing the colony to disappear.
Witches. Okay. I don't know if I knew this theory for this.
I hadn't heard this one either, but the fear of witchcraft didn't reach its peak in, like, the Americas, right? To Salem, that's 1692, way later.
Yeah. Okay.
But early colonists, including those at Roanoke, were aware of and had witchcraft-related fears that stemmed back from Europe.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, they were always afraid of witches.
Yeah.
So it's possible that any of the unexplained events or hardships faced by the Roanoke crew could have been attributed to witchcraft in the mind of the settlers, even if they didn't have direct evidence, right? Because it's a fear that they already had. This is another one, though, too, where we have some kind of smaller sub-theories. So the first is that the North Carolina woods supposedly held a brood of witches that was documented by the CROATOAN people.
Ooh, a brood.
Yes. And they strongly believed that they would use black magic to commit evil acts to bother everyday life. So this is from the CROATOAN tribe, and the CROATOANs were native.
To bother everyday life. Because that's just what we need to bother everyday life.
Like the goggles, though. That's what I was thinking. It's the same thing as those.
Yeah.
So the first theory suggests that, the colonizers were out looking for people to ally with and looking for supplies. They may have come up upon our little brood here, somehow slighted them, causing them to turn on the settlers and use their black magic to make the entire colony disappear. Solid, I think. You want the next mini theory? I told you once we were past the first two, there's no basis for any of these. This is just what's out there, man.
Let's go.
Okay, the second mini theory on the witchcraft is that the Roanoke people got along very well with the witches. They learned how to utilize their magic.
Ooh.
Possibly the words crow and CROATOAN carved into the wood was less about a message that they went to CROATOAN Island, and it was more a magical or occult message.
Oh.
They gave very little evidence on how that could be.
Oh.
But this was in a ton of articles, and I'm going to come back to this part.
I thought we were going to have like a real good reason.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's the thing with Roanoke, I find, is that most of the theories are just like, throw it out there, see what sticks. There is, though, a tie back to this one we're going to come to at the end of just some additional points, I guess, that aren't theory. Okay. So keep this part in mind, that the word CROATOAN might not have anything to do with an island.
Croutons.
No, but I am getting hungry.
That's just what I keep thinking. I know.
Okay. Theory 6.
Okay.
Cryptids and spirits and reptilians, oh my.
Oh, wow.
Might actually be my favorite theory now that I'm rethinking things. This is wrapped totally in Native American lore. No physical proof, no scientific fact. Lauren would say we're going straight up tinfoil hat science here if we weren't already there. Okay, perfect. Kara's got her tinfoil hat on deck. The first of these things we're going to talk about is one that we just need to do a full episode on, the Wendigo. So
I know I want to so bad, but let me take my tinfoil hat off. It's crunchy. It's just one of those where I'm like, do I want to talk about it? Do I want to put it in my universe?
So we've talked about it briefly. We've given the description that it's,
let's just go. It's a Wendy boy. It's
a mismatch of a bunch of different animals. It's got some antlers. You're not supposed to say its name.
It's a Wendy boy.
The funny thing is that I feel that its current representation is more modern day lore where
yes,
Native Americans, they would think of it as more of a spirit, a malevolent spirit that's usually depicted with more human-like characteristics than animals. And it had the ability to possess humans, and it could make their victims filled with an insatiable hunger and the desire to eat other people and the propensity to commit murder. So again, another theory that ties back to an earlier theory. So these are not mutually exclusive things. It could be a mix of both.
But it's like, damn, I just relate to them.
The thing about these spirits, though, Kara, is that they don't stop. Once you're turned into one, you never stop roaming. So if this is the case, the Lost Colony is not lost at all. They are still hanging right out in that area.
They be roaming.
Okay. The next one is the Earth Spirit. I like this one. I think it's an interesting take. And I think this is the best of the wild ones that actually gives more than just, here's a theory with no evidence. Here's a theory on how it could have happened.
Okay.
So the CROATOANs believed that the islands, because it's a bunch of islands around there, right?
Yeah.
That these islands had a spirit of the earth, right? That if angered, they had a power to change those who offended them into different forms, such as animals, trees, and rocks. So perhaps that they disappeared and no bodies were ever found because they were building this giant city, right? Taking down trees. I'm sure they were not getting along with the locals. They couldn't find food. They were not doing a good job. Pissed off the earth spirit. Boom, turned into rocks.
Can you imagine, that's what you get turned into?
It would be so boring.
Because then, do you think you're a little one, a big one? Do you think you're going to get picked up and put in somebody's pocket? Are you going to get put in tumbler?
Do you think you, have feelings? Are these aware rocks?
Yeah, because Kristoff's family were rocks.
What are you talking
about? Frozen.
Oh, I've still never seen it. I worked in retail when Frozen came out, and it was just...
I've
mire,
never seen the
everything.
other ones, but the original Frozen is actually really good because it's like a breakthrough Disney movie because it's like the lead character, female character, actually doesn't need a man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Power.
I can get behind that.
But his family were rocks.
Interesting.
So,
okay. Maybe they pissed off this spirit.
Wait, his name was Kristoff, right? Or was that the...
I think so.
That's fine.
Whatever. Marina will correct us. Okay, the third critter on the list of critters is the reptilian devil of the woods.
Ooh.
An evil spirit that would attach itself to people that would make them violent, greedy, and paranoid. So this is another one that comes from CROATOAN lore. And that this reptilian spirit obviously possessed the settlers and made them start to turn on each other after White left for England to get more supplies.
That's you.
This led to them slowly turning on each other and killing them off over the 3 years until there were just none left.
Because you would be a reptilian devil and you'd be just petty.
And hungry.
Yeah.
Because these people sucked at getting food. Yeah.
That's you.
I could be the reptilian devil of the woods.
Oh, God, I love it.
All right. So we've had a lot so far.
Mm-hmm.
Couple that make sense, that were grounded in, things that could have really happened. Some that tied back to it, right? So maybe they became cannibals, sure, because they were possessed. The last one is one you've already mentioned. And this one, I just love this. They were all abducted. It was just alien abduction, Kara.
No, but it was.
Okay, why?
What do you mean, why?
Yeah.
They're just gone and vanished.
Okay. That's it. Proponents of the alien abduction theory argue that the complete absence of bodies, no signs of struggle, or any other clear evidence of what happened suggests that something extraordinary, some act of God or otherworldly, left 115 people to leave no trace.
Aliens.
Okay. I'm with you on this one. The theorists speculate that the aliens could have abducted the settlers for various reasons. I feel like
you're being condescending to me right now, so tell me why.
I'm gonna.
This isn't the reason.
Maybe they were taken for experimentation or observation of early human colonies, or even to populate alien worlds. Here's my thing on this. You're telling me that an entire colony that's surrounded by tribes is abducted by aliens, and these surrounding tribes and other settlers don't talk about these lights in the sky. They don't start worshipping these sky gods or anything. Like, if there was a big enough invasion of aliens to take 115 people without a trace,
okay,
there would have been some sort of cave drawings or something of this, right? When Strachey is doing 3 years of research on everyone else who's like, if they're talking about seeing the Europeans walk through the woods, they would have talked about the fucking lights in the sky.
Zachary, you are being a semi-close-minded, I can't think of the other words, but we're just presuming that aliens beam lights, okay? Because of what we've heard, the stories we've been told. We just presume that they have these spacecrafts that just like radiate light. Now, what I will say is that my encounter was with a lot of lights. But what I'm saying is, back then, they might not have had lights.
Oh, yes. They were horse-drawn UFOs.
Yes. They could have been something. You don't know. So,
okay.
Even if it was just a beam that had no lights, it was just sucked them all up. And then that is why there's just like fresh tracks, because it was the people that were walking and they just got sucked up with all of the other things.
I'll play then. Why Roanoke?
I'll play.
Right. What about the hundreds of others of cities and settlements that have been before and after through modern day? How come we don't just see other entire cities sucked up in the sky overnight?
There are a lot of cities that have just been abandoned and disappeared, so we can add it to the list. But in this case, it's not. It's like a decent amount, but it was only 125 or 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's just take this small little, like, they were left here because they were observed. Let's get real. They were observed. So their 325, whatever you rattled off, got dropped down to 115. So we're going to, they're not coming back. It's been a while. We're going to take them because no one's coming back for them.
Okay.
Slurp them right up.
I haven't been able to give you evidence of half the other ones. I'll let you ride with that. There's some weird stuff, though, right? Like, I didn't see any of these lists say disease, but that probably would have left bodies.
Well, yes, they would have. Because even if then animals would have come and taken them, there would have been traces of blood and bones and things like that. So yeah, that would have been the most likely.
The other one that's weird to me that wasn't on any of the lists is nothing that I looked up. And I even went to ChatGPT and said, like, give me like the top 10, top 15, all these things, right? Like I was trying to find like...
What is it?
Nobody blamed the Spanish. Remember, they were coming here. They told all the settlers they were coming here for mining and trade, but they basically just annoyed the Spanish. Back home, Spain and England are fighting against each other.
That's actually really dumb.
There's tons of Spanish settlers around Roanoke.
That's dumb. I don't know. I think the weirdest part to me is that there was no sign of like a struggle or whatever. But like, again, this is a span of 3 years.
Right.
So who knows how long they were missing, though? Really, realistically, they could have been missing for 2 years, 2.5 years, you know?
They had enough time to pack everything up, but then they left the maps. And they carved CROATOAN on one place.
They were ripped maps.
But somewhere else, they only wrote Crow. CRO. Like, were they leaving quickly or were they leaving slowly? Or was it like something that started slow?
Because they saw the aliens coming and they're like, fuck this, let's write it. And then they got slurped up.
Fair. Okay. So what's your favorite theory? Aliens?
That's just the one I think I go with because I just don't. Yeah, there's just too many things. It's like, where did all this shit? Whatever. That's what I go with. But I don't know. I really have never heard of the witches. So I kind of actually really liked that a lot. But if we're going to go with my favorite, I just be loving some cannibals.
All right. So I promised you we'd come back to the witches, though, about CROATOAN being some sort of mystical occult word. It has shown up in a lot of really strange places.
Ooh, I mean, I hope it's witches. This is cool.
Now, again, other than presenting you this evidence, I couldn't find anything to fully prove or disprove that any of these things are actually true.
Okay.
While the word was originally found carved into the tree, right, the most logical explanation would be like, okay, they joined the CROATOAN Indians. But there's something deeper and more strange to this. So... At least recorded in what we know, in 1913, Ambrose Bierce, an American writer and journalist.
I love the name Ambrose.
I do too. Famous for his work, The Devil's Dictionary.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Devil's Dick.
No, Devil's Dictionary. 1913, he disappears while traveling through Mexico.
Oh.
And many claim that the word CROATOAN was found written on the wall of his room.
Wait, okay, so he... disappears
while traveling through Mexico,
and on his room wall,
hotel room in Mexico, was written the word CROATOAN.
What was this book called?
The Devil's Dictionary. Okay, so that's one weird one.
Look this book up. That's weird.
1921, the word CROATOAN is found carved into the mast of a ship called the Carroll A. Deering, which we've mentioned before.
I was gonna say what. Why do I know that?
Which ran aground off Cape Hatteras near the CROATOAN Island.
Okay.
In 1921, though, well after the CROATOANs are gone, the crew had vanished and the ship was found abandoned. Okay. Like I said, I don't have any proof of these, so it's all conjecture. The next one, 1937. Urban legends claim that the word CROATOAN was found scribbled in Amelia Earhart's journal after her mysterious disappearance when she was going around the globe. 1949, Edgar Allan Poe, like, do we even need to give him an introduction? He was found delirious on the street of Baltimore shortly before his death in the same year.
Yep.
And according to some sources, the word CROATOAN was reportedly scribbled in his journal and also uttered by him on his deathbed. So, like, it's weird that it keeps showing back up. So I think it gives a little bit of credence to maybe it being some mystical language. The only other thing I could find that sort of tied this together is with it being so much like disappearance around this word, that it's some sort of... not time slip, but multiple reality slip. Like somehow they're slipping in and out of maybe a realm called CROATOAN, or, you know, God only knows.
You know what?
Maybe there's a portal near this area because the Deering was close by. This is happening. The CROATOAN Indians would have got their name from somewhere. I'm thinking a little multidimensional.
This is giving like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy, and everybody that's been mentioning them shows up dead.
Oh, yeah, you got to think Beyonce.
Like Liam Payne literally just died after being...
Dude, I cannot even go into any of that stuff.
After an interview pops up of him talking about Diddy, being at a Diddy party.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting to watch what plays out over all this stuff over the next few months, but...
We can't talk about it because we'll show up dead.
But you know what? I just want to thank Beyonce for getting me to where I am today. I'm safe.
I'm not going to thank her.
It's what you got to do to stay safe. If you show up dead and you got CROATOAN written all over your house, I know what happened.
Here's the thing.
Beyonce, we're on to you.
Kill me.
Okay. So then final theory then is that Beyonce and Diddy made Roanoke disappear. And Jay-Z, yes. Okay. But yeah, anyways, that's the Thanksgiving tale I had for you on the wildest theories of the Lost Colony of Roanoke.
What is your pick?
I think it's probably, if I'm going to be realistic, I think they probably went, the Powhatan thing kind of clicks to me, right? People saw them moving. It seems like to me they went to CROATOAN Island. And maybe they were all killed by that chief for picking the wrong people to ally with. It would make sense of why the CROATOANs had some of their belongings, and also why
you're right.
They just totally disappeared and they didn't come back from CROATOA. When
that's boring, though.
I know it is.
Pick a
Pick a fun one. Okay.
Pick an oddity.
If I'm gonna pick one of those fun ones, then I'm gonna say that the one that made the most sense to me, if we're gonna lean into fully supernatural, is that earth spirit turning them into rocks, because I can't think of anything else that would explain why we didn't, even during archaeological digs, find one thing.
That's true.
And it'd be a lot easier to turn people into rocks than it would be to have a light show sucking up 115 people.
Because they didn't have the light technology that they have now.
Yes, horse-drawn UFOs, I forgot.
They didn't have the light technology.
It was all carried by Thunderbirds.
Listen, aliens, slurp me up.
Can we just not use slurp me up for that? I don't love that.
I know. Every time I said it, you cringed, and I did. Loved it. That was a good one. I loved it. Even though you said a word in here that now we all need to
we'll go cleanse ourselves. Just spray a little sage.
It's a Wendy boy. Don't you know?
I'm so sorry. All right.
Shake my sage spray. Okay. That was a good one. I loved it. It had nothing to do with being thankful, but we're all very thankful for you guys.
No, but it was like a Native and Indian story, or Native American and settler story. So it was in the same vein.
We are all thankful for you. We appreciate you. We love you. Thankful for all of our Patreons.
Oh, yes. Make sure you check out the social media that will be posted today as well with this episode for our top 5 who are getting a little special giveaway.
Yep. Again, we're just so grateful for you guys. And
also, some of you are asking about your write-ins. We've been asking you for write-ins for so long. We are now starting to get them, and we are going to bring you a bonus episode once a month. We have some pre-recorded. We're getting them ready to go.
Yes.
If you've written in, we have not forgotten about you. We love that you are finally doing so. Stay tuned.
Keep doing it.
They'll be on. And yeah, flood those inboxes. We need way more before we're starting to feel overwhelmed.
If you've already written in, you can literally be like in the topic subject line, bitch.
Perfect. We'll leave those emails for Kara. Okay, yes.
Yeah, okay. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate your Patreon. If you can't be a Patreon, we still really much appreciate you. I can't talk anymore. I'm tired, but I love you guys. This is a great story. Thank you, Zachary. Talk to us on social media.
Real quick before you say the thing. The way you said, if you can't be a Patreon, I thought you were trying to make like a Grease reference. If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. I like your tone. I thought
be a patron. Oh my God. If you can't be a Patreon, what do I say though? Then if you can't be a Patreon, how do you be a Patreon supporter?
I don't know, but I thought you were doing something with that. My brain always goes to Grease. Oh my God.
I wish I was. That was so good.
Sorry. I'm doing side stories now. Let's let these people go.
Let's go watch Grease.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody go watch Grease because it's mildly whatever. It's inappropriate now, but it's still a great movie and it's our favorite. So we're all going to go watch some Grease. Okay. do all the things that we just fucking mentioned. Zach is rubbing his leg, which means he's done for the night. He's got to go to bed. We appreciate you. We love you. But the most important thing that you can fucking do for us is to creep a real eyeballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.